Welcome to today's Ophthalmology Perspectives podcast, where we delve into the fascinating world of Phase 1 clinical research at Fortrea's Leeds Clinical Pharmacology Unit in the UK. In this episode, we explore the operational challenges and innovative solutions behind a recent complex ophthalmology clinical trial. I'm joined by Warren Edwiger, Director of Clinic Operations at Fortrea's Leeds CPU, and Natalie Wood, our Clinical Research Associate, who will be sharing their insights and experiences from managing this unique study. Let's get started. Warren, this ophthalmology trial involves some unique and demanding requirements at the Leeds CPU. Could you walk us through what made this study so distinctive and what initial challenges your team faced in preparing for such a highly controlled, specialized environment?
Yeah, it's an interesting study in the fact that specializes with this ophthalmology test, and it's something that we haven't done before. So we have experience with ophthalmology and testing and things like that, but to go to this level of controlled environment with the darkness requirement, the equipment, the duration of the assessments that take place in the room was something that we've not done before. It's about 3 hours. There's other various pieces of equipment. You've got the volunteer in the room who has been dosed. We're going to have to take bloods and samples in the room as well, and the volunteer is wearing an electrode to the eyelid that the operator needs to be trained to apply to get all the correct readings. And that environment, sort of, we've had to work out how to reduce all the light down to complete pitch black, and then have a special sort of UV light in there as well.
So when we first got the protocol, Natalie, you were the one to pull together the team to understand exactly how we were going to be able to operationalize it. What did you do first?
So I think the sponsor kind of suggested the vendors that we should be using. I then reached out to that particular vendor for advice, because this test isn't something that we'd done previously in the clinic, so we had no idea about the requirements, the room requirements, the sort of capabilities of the staff that needed to do the test. At this stage we were kind of thinking, is an optometrist, or would we even need an ophthalmologist? But with speaking with this vendor, they were very responsive. They provided us lots of information on the test itself. They gave us lots of supporting documents so we could kind of assess our site, find suitable rooms, determine that our clinic staff would be able to do these assessments. So yeah, it was from kind of like working with that vendor and using their input to kind of determine that, yes, this is something that we can do.
And when Natalie had spoken with the vendor, we'd got that kind of baseline requirements. This is what we're going to do. That's when Natalie then pulls together a meeting with herself, with me, with resourcing, the facilities department, the OC, the operations coordinator, so that we can kind of look at then take it down another level and operationalize the study, make the protocol a reality. It's, there's all the processes on paper. This is what we've got to do. It's all there. But part of Natalie's job is to interpret all those requirements and actually make them happen, and the team members that are going to do it, and how long the duration of each assessment's going to be, and how do you take blood in the dark, and when are you going to dose them, and can we walk them? And then another complexity as well, the client wants us to do as many volunteers as we can at, so we look at it and is the plan scalable? If we just do one a day, it's going to take, I can't remember, 3 weeks or whatever to get the study done. Can we do 2? Can we do 3? Can we do 4? So then Natalie will model that.
You mentioned the number of volunteers and the scalability. What do you need to consider for that very first in-human dosing?
First in human, we'd have to do 2 first at the Sentinel and then move on to the rest of the cohort. But for some first in human studies, I think they recommend that approach for all dose levels within the group. But in terms of operational wise, that would also be preferable to doing it in a larger part for this study, just because it's quite intense with these assessments.
Yeah.
So there's double benefit. There's an operational benefit that, to your point, we test it on for 2 people for the first time, see how all that operationalisation and process goes. But then there's that other component, the safety piece that Natalie spoke about, is, because it's first in human, you put it in with 2 people first to limit the exposure.
Pause. Okay, so you've tested the protocol internally at the CPU. What's the next step?
Yeah, with this client, we've got a real collaborative team approach, to the point where the client and the vendor came to site and we sat around the table, just, so we'd Natalie had got all the high level detail from the vendor. We'd put some sort of operational ideas together, and then the next stage was for the client, the vendor, to come to site and then meet with the Fortrea team and have this round table open discussion of what, have you thought of this? And to Natalie's point, rather than just saying no, they say, oh, well, we have tried it, but it didn't, definitely doesn't work, or we've tried it and it didn't work. And we'd say, well, why didn't it work? And it's kind of finding solutions and innovating, and then I guess that cross-functional interaction, you can't, the experts in the room, and I've seen it, tend to bounce off each other, and it gains momentum, and you come up with a different solution that, we've not tried before, but the sponsor has confidence in us to give it a go. And, and Natalie and the team can back that up with previous experience, based on previous experience. It's a powerful statement. Based on previous experience, we think this will work and these will be the benefits. So that, when you've got that collaboration, it's so much better for the client.
What do you think makes a good sponsor relationship in this phase of trials?
They want to make sure that they get the best quality results. They want the study to run really well, so they are very open to our recommendations. We've just reviewed the first draft protocol officially for the clinic for this study, and that's also another opportunity for us to kind of put forward our recommendations and suggestions. So when we look at the time points, when are the blood samples scheduled, when are vital signs scheduled, if that clashes with the darkroom assessment, we could kind of suggest, right, could we move these assessments slightly to make it more operational, easier for us, so we can put those recommendations in at that stage as well once the protocol's sent to the site to review. I feel just kind of openness on both sides to kind of accept those recommendations. If we suggest something and they push back, it's always nice to have a reason why they've pushed back, rather than just, no, we don't want to do that,
Yeah.
And again, like I said, that depends on the sponsor and what sort of pressures they're under from their organisation as well.
Yeah. If we can get a real collaborative team approach, that's good.
What do you think sets us apart as Fortrea? Is it our culture, the purpose-built unit, or our people?
I feel like we have quite a lot of experience here.
Yeah.
Quite a few staff members have worked here for a long time, so we have that experience.
Yeah.
The new facility obviously helps massively.
Yeah.
It's kind of purpose-built, isn't it, for what we needed. We had the opportunity to kind of design it as we saw fit. We looked at studies that we've done in the past, like human appetite studies, and then we can say, right, we definitely need this in the new building. We need a space for this. We do lots of kind of PD assessments, so we need more PD rooms. So I think that really helps. And I know for this particular client, they were very sold, weren't they, on the facilities. They had very good feedback for the actual facility itself and the amount of space and options we have for rooms. For this particular study, we need quite a lot of rooms and space for all the equipment. So I think that's something that they saw as quite, kind of sets us apart from maybe other CROs.
I said, our clients, volunteers, staff, it's the people, it's our passion for excellence that we have here, it's our culture. It's we get excited at the challenge. When this came in, it was like, oh, this is different. And, it ignites that, that passion. But I think what sets us apart as well is the fact that, people genuinely care here. We want to do the best. That's what we come to work to do every day. It starts from the very ground up. That's our culture. And we always feel comfortable with our culture of just challenging, respectfully. But if you don't agree, or you think you've got a good idea, or it doesn't matter whether you're the director or the research technician, everybody has a voice, because most of the time those research technicians are at the bedside every day doing it. They'll come up with some fantastic ideas.
Before we close, a big thank you to Natalie Wood and Warren Edwicker for walking us through how the Leeds CPU turned a challenging ophthalmology protocol into a practical, patient-centered reality, combining early vendor engagement, protocol analysis, engineering a fully dark-tested environment, and de-risking with sentinel dosing before scaling. It's a testament to our purpose-built facility and the passion of our teams. If you've enjoyed this episode, follow Ophthalmology Perspectives and share it with a colleague. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to having you with us next time.